What's up, guys? It's Claudio here, and today we have another race of practice criterium in Connecticut. This is the 4-5 field. I've never done this race. I've never done a practice crit. I didn't know what to expect. I mean, what do you mean by practice? I guess it just means that they don't count, like, you can't get points, I guess, to upgrade. And it doesn't really count for anything. I think maybe only the Cat 5s, it counts towards their upgrade. I don't know, but people came to race. It's definitely a legit vibe, you know. People totally raced, and the attitude was there. So you guys saw that crash at the beginning. I'm not sure what was going on there. I think either they were fighting for position or, you know, it was just a mistake, whatever. But things like that happen in practice crits. I don't know what they're, if they were Cat 4s or Cat 5s. It's definitely in this race, and it's kind of towards the end, the last third of this race. But anyways, this is the neutral lap. And this corner here is the only technical corner. You'll see how it plays out. Also, the wind, a huge factor. Look at the arrows. The wind was very strong, and you needed to be aware of how to stay sheltered. So I think I did a pretty good job because I knew where to go. I knew where to be in terms of the wind. Like here, this was the fast section, right? We had the tailwind. It's neutralized right now. We're just chilling. And on this straightaway, on this straightaway, you had to be on the outside, so to the right, so that the people on your left will absorb the wind. So that was key. Stay on the outside. Okay, now the race just started, and we're going. This turn here was slightly, it wasn't the most technical turn, but you kind of had to lean a little bit, and instantly the wind hits you hard. You need to be sheltered here, and so that's what I was doing. You need to ride on the back of a wheel. It slows everybody down. And then on this straightaway, you had to be on the inside because everybody's, or the wind is hitting you from right to left. So I tried to be kind of there. That was a sweet spot, sort of behind and to the left. And there, that was one of the times that I braked. One of the few times that I braked on that corner. The guy took the inside line, and so I had to brake. I was getting used to that. But I did a really good job of not using my brakes. This is one of the races where I think I braked, honestly, like 5 times, which is a really big improvement. You can easily go this whole race without braking. You can say that about a lot of criteriums, but I'm not that skilled or confident. Here I'm on the outside like a good boy. And I'm doing 50 watts, right, at 27 miles an hour. That's the way to ride this course with this kind of wind. And then being sheltered, you got to take shelter here on this, or you're going to take a lot of wind. So this race, guys, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but you saw the recap of this. I lasted the whole race. This is probably the best finish I've ever had. If you follow me on Instagram, I post all my workouts. I do race recaps. And Claudio_Fierro, make sure to check that out. You saw that turn right there. I was still getting the hang of it, but much better. I don't think I braked there. Hey guys, so I forgot to say that right after this race, I ended up racing the 1, 2, 3, 4 race. So the A field race. Immediately after this race, I was really spent, so I couldn't do very well, but I was in there, and it was cool. I have video of that. Let me know if you want to see that. I'll probably post it at some point, but just wanted to let you know that I did 2 races in one night. It required a lot of fitness, let's say, just to hang in there. Anyways, back to the video. And for those of you who don't know, here are my stats really quick. Age 37, 152 pounds. My FTP is like pretty much at 4 watts per kilo, 276. And max heart rate, 192. I train about 10 to 12 hours a week right now on TrainerRoad. And the reason why why I put my stats up. It's really, it puts me in some kind of, it gives you perspective where I'm at, kind of. Like, I'm at 4 watts per kilo, my FDP. What does that mean? What does that mean in terms of this race? Like, should I be winning this race, or should I, like, what happens if I get dropped and my FDP is 4 watts per kilo on a Cat 4? You know, what does that say about, like, what is missing in my abilities, right? Because if you saw my last race, I had the same FDP. I got dropped in like 20 minutes, maybe less. And so why am I getting dropped with 4 watts per kilo at in a Cat 4 race? Well, the previous race was a Cat 3-4. There were some pretty strong riders. But anyways, and the answer was, back then in my last race, it was really technical. I didn't know how to ride that course. I wasn't drafting at all. I didn't have any kind of strategy. At this race, same FTP, same fitness, and I took the time. I went through the course a bunch of times. You know, I got there early. I rode around. I checked out the wind. I knew the plan. The plan on this straightaway was to stay to the right, to be sheltered, and I totally had a game plan. On this straightaway, stay behind, stay on somebody's wheel. Don't get in the wind. So it's all about staying out of the wind, which is why I was able to survive this race. And I could really utilize my fitness, you know, to my advantage. It really is not all about FTP. It's not about fitness. It's about the strategy as well, the technique. I stayed to the front. I was riding the front. This is like 40 people in this field. And staying towards the front was really important because you could catch moves, you could see what's going on. I mean, I don't necessarily recommend being second wheel, because if this guy peels off, then I'm in the wind and so forth, right? But for example, here's an acceleration and I'm on it. The people in the back are going to get strung out if this accelerates too quickly. But now I'm here, I'm staying sheltered, and everything is okay. I know what's happening. This is a really cool way to race if you have the confidence to be towards the front, because you really feel like you are doing stuff in the race. Okay, these are junior riders. I don't understand what's going on here. Like, they're practicing. I didn't get that. There were people on the field. I didn't know what was going on. It was confusing. But here we are. We're getting warmed up. Still not up to speed. Still no real attacks. I'll tell you right away that I finished in top 10. I think I finished top 10. Now what happens was, the officials, they don't really count anything above top 5 because it's hard to keep track. There's only one guy keeping track of everything. And we lapped like there was a break, and I was in it. I was in the top, in that break, and then we ended up lapping the field, the rest of the field, which is like maybe half of it. And I didn't know that I was in the break. I didn't know that there was a split until I saw this big group like in front of me. Like, what's going on? Who are they? Oh shoot, they are, like, we lapped them, and that's huge for me. Like, I've never lapped anybody, any kind of a field or anything like that. So I was pretty pumped about that. Lapping the field, it's the first time, and I was smart. I was racing smart. And then after we lapped them, we caught up with them, and the lap field is allowed to hop back on, but they just can't sprint with you. And that's what they said. And so it got confusing. It was like, who's in the front and who's... Okay, I'm watching this attack. So it got confusing. And I'll talk more about that. So here we go, the first attack. And I'm at the front, so I can see what's happening. We got the tailwind here. I'm riding behind this guy. It was giving a pretty good draft, plus it's getting fast because of the tailwind. And I want to conserve. I want him to do all the work. I see that there's a gap already. I don't want to close that myself. And now I'm going over here to the side to make sure that I'm getting the best draft. So he's taking all the wind. And then I hop on a new wheel. And this is how the gaps are closing down. There, we close it. It slows down. There's still a little breakup up at the front. But this wind hits you really hard on that section and on this section as well. Now the guys are saying that we shouldn't let that get away because, well, okay, that guy really went for it. So people get concerned when they see those kind of brakes. But you can see it's already strung out. It's not organized up there. So I'm not too concerned. And I'm trying to just let people do the work. I don't want to bridge this huge gap already, you know, only like less than 10 minutes into the race. Okay, this guy seems motivated, so I want to hop on it. And I think he's flicking his elbow. I'm not going. There's no way I'm going into this headwind by myself. Like, I know what's going to happen. It hurts. It really hurts to go to this section right here. You see how everybody slows down immediately? Nobody wants to push through that because you got to do like 350, 400 watts just to stay like at, 23 miles an hour or something. And nobody's motivated. Eventually we get them back. So what I was saying was about the brakes. So we lapped the field, and then it got confusing, like who was in the front of the race, who was lapped, and then there's an attack. And I tried to go with it, and we split the field again. So it got really confusing about who was at the front. I didn't really know anything. I just knew that I wanted to be towards the front. And then I somehow, I counted. I watched the video, counted, and it must be somewhere in the top 10. I just don't know. And then also I asked the officials, where did I stand? He's like, I don't know, man. Only the very front people I was able to record. So we got people trying to really bridge this. And at this point, I'm riding towards the front. I'm really not, there's no need for me to use the brakes. And this guy's just like, you see this headwind, nobody wants to be in it. This guy's like, come on guys, what the hell? He's done. He's like, or he's just, he doesn't want to do it. And I don't want to do it either, man. I know that those riders up there in a category 4 or 5, even the strongest Cat 4, they can't eat that much wind for this long, for a 45 to 50 minute crit, unless, I don't know, maybe there are Cat 4s that can do that, but it's very unlikely that they're gonna sit through all that wind. So it's I didn't want to chase that. I'm not doing too much. At this point, I'm actually at the front and I'm looking at my Garmin. This is one of the few times that I'm looking at my Garmin to make sure I don't overextend myself. I'm telling myself, okay, just do like a threshold, 270, 280, something like that. Don't kill yourself. Let people go. But my heart rate is high right now. It's actually like, I'm just noticing that. I'm at 187. This is not good. I'm hurting because you can see my watts. The guys are moving up, and I was doing 400 a little bit there. So you gotta really watch this. That's the thing about technology. One of the things I want to talk about is technology. Is it good? Is it bad? How much of it do you need? should you be looking at it constantly in a crit? My screen on my Garmin goes like this. The top, I have a lot of screens, but the one that I was using for this one is, the top says the time, because I want to know how much suffering I have left, you know? I just want to know, even though they have a lap counter, I just want to know how much suffering there is left. Wow. Attacks or people trying to bridge. And here I'm going for it, kind of. Anyways, timer. The next thing I have is heart rate. The next thing I have is, I think, power. And the next thing is, I don't know what. Speed. So that's my racing, that's my crit racing Garmin screen. And there's no way I'm gonna chase anything because my heart rate is way too high. I can tell you right now, just by looking at it, I was exhausted at this point. Anything above 180, if you see above 180 on my heart rate on the screen right now, I cannot chase. I just can't. I'm suffocating. When I started cycling my first race, my heart rate, my max heart rate was 181. If you see my first race on my channel, you see it won't go above 181. Even if when I was sprinting to catch on, I just couldn't. And now somehow I have unlocked more heart rate. I've tricked my body and my mind to go above, to unlock more, a higher heart rate. And that comes with training. And but anyways, high heart rate. I'm really going for it here. The field is all strung out and messed up in the back. I don't know, as you can see. I think half of the field is gone already. So, technology, the Garmin, I only look at my Garmin when I'm off the front. I really don't have, I'm looking at myself taking that line. I took the inside a lot. If I take the inside and don't brake, then I kind of get ahead. And I can make up some ground, I can get some speed, I can rest a little bit because everybody's taking the outside. Okay, now this guy's motivated. He's going for it. I can sense that, and I'm on that. So he's gonna take me up there. So we're looking at technology again. Garmin, looking back at your data is a lot of fun. I'm really into that. I'm really into looking at all my data after a race, analyzing it, checking the video. If you don't have a GoPro, I recommend getting one, borrowing it, and just put it on, and you'll learn so much. Okay? And it's really, it's not a big investment. You can get them used. You just get one of the GoPro session ones, and you will learn a lot about your cycling and ways to improve. Like, look at this line. I'm taking the inside. I gained a little bit of ground, and we made it. I told the guy good job because he did a whole lap. And now we're back with this front group, which had those guys that made those huge attacks to bridge, those huge efforts. You saw that there's like a handful of guys that went up, and I didn't have to do that. I guess I played it smart, because if I had done that, I'd probably blown up if I had to ride into the wind. So now we're all back together. And I kind of have an idea that the people at the front might be kind of tired. I'm tired, but not totally wasted, because I've been smart about things. And I use momentum. You see how I'm not braking? You can tell that because I'm just moving up. And that's something that is so important to learn to do. Just move up through the cracks. people will let you in a Cat 4 or 5 race. I don't know about the other categories, because they're more aggressive there. They want to keep their position. They don't give a position as easily. In these lower categories, they're fine with it. You know, nobody's fighting that hard for positioning, especially at this point of the race. So, let's talk a little bit more about some technology. The Whoop, my Whoop band, right? So I have this Whoop band. If you don't know what that is, it's like a recovery device. It measures your heart rate through activities and through your sleep, and then it gives you like a recovery score every day. You wake up after it analyzed your previous day, your weeks actually, and gives you a score. It gives you a percent, like 68%. I woke up on this race day, and it was at 68%, which is good. It's green. That means that I am ready to take on a strain. My body is ready for whatever, if it's in green. And it seems to be pretty accurate. When I'm in the red, when I'm like below in the 20s, it's hard for me to do high strain activities. It's hard for me to race. On the previous race, I was at 30 something, and I felt like crap. And I tried to make myself fool myself into believing that it was wrong. Like, 34%, whatever, I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna grind it out. I don't care what my Whoop band says, but actually it really did feel like crap. Like, it just not motivated. I didn't wanna, I felt awful. I felt like kind of garbage. I mean, I could still pedal my bike, but you know what I mean when you're like, you feel like you don't want to really pedal your bike that much when you wake up on those days. That's the Whoop band has been accurately predicting that. I'm not saying 100% of the time, but I'm saying this is kind of legit. So the Whoop band is helping me, because I used to think that I was getting 8 hours of sleep. In fact, I was getting 6 or 5 hours of sleep, according to my Whoop band, of actual sleep, because somehow it recognizes when you're awake throughout the night, and when you wake up early, but you're still in bed, you're not really sleeping. You're just there, kind of like half awake, and it knows. And then throughout the day, I'm tired. I'm like, what the heck? I thought I got 8 hours. No, now I'm looking, I got 5 hours. So it's really helpful to point that out, how important sleep is. You can't just go through a whole week averaging 5 hours of sleep. That means you're gonna get messed up. You can't train as hard. You're gonna feel pretty crappy. And you start to put things together like, okay, I need to sleep more. I need to check out this, some kind of a sleeping ritual. I need to fix something because it's not working. I need to fix my nutrition maybe. It's another thing. I don't know how to gauge that other than how I'm feeling. There's just so many variables that take into account. Also emotional stress, all that stuff. But the Whoop band is supposed to deal with that. It's supposed to somehow take into account emotional stress. And I can tell you, during quarantine, I had some weeks where I was like really not good. My recovery score was like in the orange or red. And it was because of all the stuff that's happening with COVID and losing, employment and all that stuff. So it was picking up on that. It's pretty impressive. So technology, it's all about how you use it, what you do with it. You need to learn to use it. And the only way to learn to use it is if you use it a lot. So I'm a big fan of using technology. It's 2020. It's only going to get more advanced. And there are so many gains that you need, or that you can come out with by using technology. I know some people out there are not fans. Some people say that, you know, get rid of all that stuff, man. It's just clouding your mind. You're getting too caught up in it. And that's totally legitimate criticism, because yes, you can get really caught up in the tech part of things. But what you do is you get really caught up in it, and you go deep in it, and you go like too far, right? And then you're like, okay, I went too far, dial it back. Find that sweet spot of when to listen to it, when to monitor the tech side of things, and when to just let it go and race in the moment and just ride your bike. Eventually you find the sweet spot, and that takes practice, that takes time. You know what I mean? So use it, and you got to use it. That's my point. Use it as much as you can. Use the videos, watch yourself race. Eventually you just don't worry about it. Like right now, nowadays, I have a whole ritual of my cameras. They're charged. I put them on the bike. I test them, and I know exactly when to push start. So I don't think about it. It's not like a whole thing that weighs me down, putting cameras on my bike. And by the way, literally, it doesn't weigh you down in a criterium. It doesn't slow you down. So the weight penalty is negligible for races like this. Maybe climbing races, long climbing races, maybe, you know, whatever. But for this, it's not an issue. So I'm a big fan of tech, learning how to use it. I was when I was in school and college, I was a math and computer science major. So my mind works like that. It's just, I'm into it. You know, I get excited about it. And it's important that if you find something that you're excited about, that you go with it. I remember one of the first videos that I saw on YouTube before I got into cycling was the vegan cyclist. I was just getting into, like, I saw something on Instagram about cycling. I went and looked it up. And then the vegan cyclist was there, and he was going off about FTP and his heart monitor. His heart rate is like 200. It's like, oh my God, how do they keep track of that stuff? It's so cool. How do they put it up on the screen? I was so into the whole data analysis of it. I thought it was awesome, and so like scientific and technical, and that's one of the things that drew me in. Back. So I'm into that. I'm really excited about it. I got really excited, and that's how I got into cycling, through that avenue. So find something. Maybe you're not so into it like some people are, and find something else, another aspect of it. Maybe you're into like the clothes, you know, maybe you're into wearing spandex. I don't know, whatever. Just have a good time. Remember, this is amateur level. You're supposed to be having a good time. It's not pro. It's not, we're not paying our rent through this. Most of us aren't. So find a way to have a good time. I'm also really into, photo and video editing and stuff like that. So it's exciting for me to put all this stuff together. I'm into it. So I am going to let this play out a little bit. We still have quite a bit of time. I'm going to come back and do commentary on like the last few laps, and I'll see you guys there. All right, so as you can see, we caught up to the group. We lapped them, and now we're in there. We're all mushed together, and I'm not sure what to do about this, or what's going on, or what will happen. I've never been in this situation. But there you go. You see some people that I'm assuming were in the front group with me, they attack. And I'm kind of caught off guard. I'm in the middle of the group. I'm just, I don't know what to do. So I start going. I realize I really have to. And I put in a good effort here. But it brings my heart rate, it kind of blows me up. And now I'm in the wind, head in the wind. I gotta get sheltered. I need to, but I'm kind of like right on the edge right now, getting blown up from that effort. I can't sustain, and especially with the wind, I can't get up to speed. People are going up, so as you can see, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people ahead. So that's like 5. That's already the top 5 right there. And I'm just, I'm in pain right now. I just can't. I know it seems like I just got to put in one more effort and get in there, but I can't. I see some guy coming along, and I try. I really, really want to hop in there with him. I think I do. I'm barely hanging on. Like, I remember this race. I mean, I was like, I really maxed out. I was in the 180s, my heart rate, for so long. And I was like about to throw up. I didn't have anything to throw up, but I was like really exhausted. I couldn't believe that I was putting my body through all of that. And this guy's like, we're supposed to, ideally we should work together and bridge, but I'm done. I don't know about this guy. I think he has a little bit left. He seems like it. And so we're going, but there's not much left for me. So this is the race. The 5 people got away, 5 riders got up. I'm honestly, I'm not sure. I think some of them drop back, or like what happens really, or some people catch us. A small group catches us. But the top 5 are gone. And I don't know who's catching us. Is it like is it people from the lapped field, or is it people like from the front group? You don't know. Because it could be the lapped field. So anyways, we got a little group here, and we're working. But I'm dead. I'm like, I remember I just didn't have much. As you're gonna see, my final sprint is like nothing left. So I want to talk about some of the workouts that I've been doing. Share with you guys the workouts that I have been doing on TrainerRoad, which have been really helpful. They look something like this. Guard. An hour and 15 minutes. This is really racy. If you see a lot of spikes in your workout, that's good. That's criterium race type of fitness. This is a rolling race program though. So that white line is my FDP, and then anything above that, obviously, it's getting into VO2 max efforts. So this is slightly above. Basically, it's 7 times 4 minutes. Each block is 4 minutes with sprints, 4 sprints in there, 8-second sprints. So that's really great. Great for this kind of racing, right? Because look what I'm doing. I'm kind of sprinting, and then I'm going back to threshold. So exactly like that. those are really helpful. And on the weekends, I'm doing these on Saturdays. These huge rides. They're huge for me. They're like 80 to 100 miles with this group of guys that are really fast, like way faster than me. And I'm just hanging on. I'm sitting in, hanging on. You know, on the flats, they're going like 27 to 29 miles an hour. And then there's a bunch of hills, which are like the intervals. And I'm really just hanging on to their wheels. I'm doing like 350 to 400 watts up these hills for like 1 to 2 minutes. Some of the hills are longer. I think we did like maybe a 6-minute climb. And but I'm really pushing it. I'm like really pushing my top end fitness on these rides, and also my endurance, right? Because they're long, a lot of miles. So they're big workouts, like 300 TSS, training stress score. That's huge. If you want to get an idea, some perspective, like this race that you're watching was like 91 TSS, training stress score. These group rides are 300 and above, training stress score. That's like how much stress you're putting in your body. So they're really big rides. They do a lot for my top end and my endurance aerobic fitness. It's one of the reasons why I'm able to hang on here, I'm pretty sure. So I'm doing TrainerRoad, and I'm doing also these long rides with people that are way faster and stronger than I am, and that's really helpful. If I continue to do those Saturday rides, I mean, it's going to be, if I do it all through the fall and through the spring, I'm going to be a totally different rider. That's new to me. That's new from, like, I just started riding with those guys maybe like 2 months ago, 6 weeks ago. So I'm just beginning to uncover that kind of fitness, because you can't do that type of workout by yourself. It's impossible to push yourself because you don't have a wheel to follow, right? Like, my goal is just don't get dropped from these guys, don't get dropped on the hills. And it's really motivating when you have that person in front of you. You really push yourself, as opposed to the TrainerRoad workouts, which are great, but it's like sometimes you just give up when it's too hard. It's nice having that extra motivation. So we're coming on the last few laps here. Last few laps, and I don't know what I think we all know that the group, there's a group up ahead that but we all know that it's kind of like top 10 here. And it's fun to kind of race as if this is the front of the race. Like, there's going to be a little field spread, and people are going to they're going to compete for that. But I'm kind of slightly recovered here, and some of the people in this group I think are lapped. Like, I don't know what, nobody knows, and nobody really cares too much. It's not like, hey, get out of the group, you're lapped, you're one of the lapped riders. That's not the vibe. But we're all just racing. We want to race, and that's cool, whatever. Just race your bike. I'm trying to remember, I haven't watched this. People are just, so now things are getting, people are into the position. People are trying to get into some kind of position. I'm still just sitting in. I'm not too worried about it. And those people up ahead, I don't know, maybe that's the main group, or maybe that's also the lapped. See, it's confusing. Or maybe they're junior riders that are just doing laps. Who knows? But there was that turn. That was the only technical turn. And there were two ways you could take it. You could take it really inside, so like there's a manhole on there. You don't want to go over that at speed because it's you can get slippery and kind of sketchy. But you can take the inside line, which I was taking it a lot, or you can go on the outside. Some riders, most riders were going on the outside. I was into taking it in the inside. This turn you could almost pedal through. It's fine. It's not super technical. Well, people flying backwards. So this is second to last lap. And people are starting to look around. You know, it's not super fast. Let's see how I take this turn. You see, I took it on the inside of that manhole, and it got me a little bit further without too much effort. So it's kind of like dive bombing it, but it's fine. It's not like I'm taking a huge risk or like really cutting anybody out. Look at this guy's finger on the brake, just like that. Probably that's how I was riding too. Keep that finger right on the brake. You see? Okay, bell lap, last lap. It's the equivalent of being second wheel. Right now I'm second wheel, but not really, you know. I'm second wheel in the field sprint. So this is like, I don't know if I really want to be second wheel or if it's like good to be second wheel. This guy's pulling hard. The guy in front of us is lapped, so it's fine. So now people are looking. What's happening? This is critical. The first people into that turn are probably going to win. The first, top three into this turn. I should have gone right here. I should have just hammered it. But somebody else, those guys got the momentum. Those guys totally did what I should have done. If I had gone, I would have closed the door on them and they wouldn't have gotten this head start. Now I'm in the wind and I can't catch them because I'm exhausted. I can't communicate how exhausted I am, how tired I am. I put in an effort. This guy behind me, look at him. He takes it outside. He's smart. He's sheltered. He's getting a good draft. He catches me right at the line. So he got third at the field sprint and I got fourth, but still, whatever. I got like top 10. Really happy about that. Guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want more videos like this. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Really happy about this race. I'm gonna do the next one, which is actually on Tuesday, and I'll post that as well. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.